Hi everyone, my name is Jim, and in this video, it's going to be fairly short. I'm going to go through the various steps I went through to take the body off my helicopter frame and put it on a stand. But just a quick introduction what the helicopter would look like. Um, doesn't look like that. This is some years ago when my daughter was a little tiny girl, and this is me. We're over in Lodi in a fly-in. My helicopter, when it's all finished, will look similar to that, except it will have a different color scheme, of course. Sitting on the ground, this is a different one right there. Same helicopter, Rotorway exec, and here's that same helicopter in flight. So, okay, after now that that's out of the way, let's move on to the helicopter, to the removing the panels on the helicopter so I can get access to the engine. That's the whole goal to it. The engine is won't start because gas got in the gas lines and clogged things up. The first thing I needed to do before I could take the panels and everything off of the helicopter, I had to make a stand so I could put it all back together. The reason I'm putting it back together is because the shell is made out of fiberglass, and when it's hot like it is, like right now it's 95 degrees outside, it tries to warp. So when you try to put it back together at a later time, you can't get nothing to line up. So first thing we did is get some PVC piping, just a 2-inch. I found it laying alongside the road, so it didn't cost me nothing. And then I had to cut it to the sizes that I needed. And then once everything was cut to pieces, I built the stand. And this is what the helicopter is going to sit on when it's this is what the cockpit or the body is going to sit on, I should say, when it's off the helicopter. So to start out, again, here's the helicopter, and all this back here is the body made out of fiberglass. I got to remove all this and reassemble it onto the stand. So the first thing I did was I started on the lower body, this part right there, pulling out all the clicos. That just hold things together. And there's several places. I got to go underneath the helicopter and pull them out because this side and the other side, they're tied together through the belly here. And then finally, I removed the panel. Then after I did the left side, I repeated the process again on the right side. After the removal of the lower panels, you can see them, they're up here, it was time to take off the upper panels. It's split right here. That makes life a whole lot easier with respect to the cockpit area itself and the tub. So the first thing I got to do again, I got to remove it by taking off all the clicos. All the way around, the clicos got to come off. And then once those are off, I pull off the panel, and that's it. I'm now ready to remove, you can't see it, the cockpit area and this thing here called the tub. The whole exercise of this is to get into this engine so we can make our repairs to it. Okay, now that the upper and lower panels are off, next thing we needed to do, and when I say we, I'm talking about Mark Wilson. He's my partner in crime. He helps me on this thing. It's just too big for one person to do it. We need to take off this tub, and so we had to drop it down, and that freed up the cockpit area. So once the cockpit was unbolted from the frame, I was on one side and Mike was on the other side, and we moved it to the stands that we made. And here you see it sitting on the stand. And then it took us a little while for this. We had to, there's a hole right here, which you can't see. This pipe goes all the way across, and I had to sit inside that hole. And so once we got that in position, we were ready to put the panels on it. And here's the upper panel and the lower panel now in place. And the last thing we had to do was put on the tub. And now here it is with the tub. This picture here shows you where that hole I was talking about had to be adjusted. And unfortunately, we made this piece here too long. So the last thing we did was cut it right here, 6 inches, and on both sides, and moved it all in. Now this piece here, you see it go all the way through, now goes through that hole. And everything's set up, and that's it. We're now ready to get into the engine and do our repairs. On the next video, I'll go into an introduction on how I got started with this thing. And then as time goes on, we start working on the engine, there'll be more videos over time. This, of course, is assuming that I don't get lazy and go back watching TV and playing with the computer. Okay, my name is Jim, and I'll see you next time.